The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Hey, just listen to our show we just did here prior to this called Mission Minded, that we were talking about being there for individuals during the holidays. You know, it's not all butterflies and Christmas and nativity scene, the whole nine yards. A lot of people suffer through a lot of depression, different things, for a lot of different reasons. Some people may have, I find that's interesting too. You mentioned you lost your mother on Mother's Day, and then you also lost your father 7 days or 8 days before Christmas. And normally those are festive, wonderful days that you don't like to think about death or the loss of a family member. And then when you kind of lump that in, it adds special meaning to that. But it also makes people think of this time of the year as a real giving time. But it's not only about, I always say that when we had the Bright House Foundation, my wife and I did, which is a wonderful organization, I'm sorry to see it go. I always talked about, listen, if you don't have the money, you do have the time and you can advocate. Advocacy for special needs individuals, or advocating for, people that are in need of food or whatever, is sometimes just as important as the actual financial aspect of it. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it is a time where we think about giving, and this, I don't want people to think this is a solicitation for donations. It's not. It's talking about, when I come into the year, we always target what we're going to do for the year. And then, of course, every election year, we know that some funds are going to get pulled out of the system because of elections. And because a lot of people donate, and you see spending $1 billion and everything else. So a lot of disposable income that people would otherwise give to a charity, lots of times are given to political candidates. So we tend to be lower this time. So we know that November and December in particular, you're going to get about 65% of your donations during that time. So really, how well you do during this time is going to project, hey, because if you don't come out of the Christmas season, you don't come out of December where you want to be, then you already are looking at, okay, where I might need to make some cuts. How do I, it's going to affect your budget, on and on and on. And so going into this year, it's like and I've talked to you about this, that, I always, as a person of faith, I'm always prayerful. And I always say, Lord, whatever you give, whatever you bless us with through the generosity of other people, we're going to make do with it. We're going to be the best stewards we can, be the most responsible we can. But I was sitting here earlier this week, and you start looking at, where we are on this date, and you start comparing it to last year, and it looked like we were, kind of far behind. And it's talking about mental health. It can kind of just bring you kind of just temporarily down. You're like, well, what can I do? How's this going to affect the budget? And then we just got 2 incredibly huge donations this week that boosted us actually ahead of where we were at this point last year.
Nice.
And so there's just so many lessons that come out of that. But one is, I just want the audience to know that it doesn't have to be a huge, but just you giving, when you give to something, that changes you, because you're investing. You're saying that this is my hard-earned money. I'm going to give it to somebody so that this mission to affect somebody's life can move forward. So, but there's something that comes that Scripture talks to us about, that there's the more blessed to give than receive, because there's excuse me, there's something that comes from that's so hard to put into words, but an emotional thing that takes place to where you feel good because you've changed the life of someone else, not because you were compelled to, but because you chose to do it. And you can't get that feeling from doing anything else other than serving other people and giving to other people. And so this is a time of year where we see that, and it's important sometimes. Like when I get donor letters, I try to sign everyone that's over a certain amount and try to write, hey, just thank you for making a difference, just all the kind of stuff. And I know when I'm going through them this time of year, I'm sitting there going, if they saw me just signing this over and over and over, they may say, "Oh, he doesn't mean it," but I really do, because everyone I'm signing, I want to express in my writing how much I appreciate the fact that they entrusted us with those dollars, and they're empowering us to not just through the Christmas season, but going on into the January, February, March, where our fundraising is not near as strong. They're equipping us to meet the needs of those dealing with food insecurity. And when we get substantial donations, or we're meeting the same pace that we were last year, we're matching that. I not only keep that to I not only benefit that myself, but I communicate that to the staff. And when I say, "Hey, we're doing well this year of donations," you can just see that the smile comes on their face. They don't even know how much,
Yeah.
but they just know, oh, well, that means we get to keep doing what we're doing because of the generosity of
It's
others.
working. Yeah.
Yeah, so people don't get to see that. Our donors don't get to see that, but it really lifts us from an emotional health standpoint to know that our community continues on a greater basis each year to get more and more behind us to equip us to meet that need that we're doing. So the feedback we get from that is, oh, we are communicating effectively. Our mission is important. People are seeing the value in it, and they're responding by their hard-earned money. So we're collaborating with our stakeholders to change our communities, and so it makes all the difference in the world. So if there's somebody out there that doesn't have anybody to give to, or not passionate about something, we'd love for them to go to hafb.org and donate to the Heart of Alabama Food Bank. But this show was just about conveying to the people who are supporting their local work. They may get a standard thank you letter, but trust me, when their envelope is opened and their check is given or whatever it is, it changes the dynamic of that organization, the people working there, to know that there are people who are giving and supporting.
Michael, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you, brother.
Merry Christmas.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.